Hi, I'm Vicki Gardner. Welcome to another episode of Senior Spectrum. This series focuses on issues and programs that are of interest to those in their golden years. In our first segment, we're going to visit with Dr. Deborah Cherry of the Alzheimer's Association of Los Angeles. Dr. Cherry is going to help us understand some of the differences between the normal aging process and two more serious conditions, Alzheimer's and dementia, both of which may have an increasing impact on our aging population.
Years ago, people would just get older and get what we called senile. And we thought of that as a normal part of the aging process. As we've become more sophisticated, what we realize is that there are many different diseases that make up that so-called senility, which is also known as senile dementia. Senile dementia means that you have a global loss of mental functions that usually starts in the later part of life. And Alzheimer's disease is probably the most common form of senile dementia. It has a very gradual, subtle onset. The beginning symptoms resemble normal changes that all of us go through as we age. So you might forget a familiar word. You may go someplace and feel a little bit lost as you get there. You may forget where you put your glasses. But as the disease progresses, people notice that the changes are not typical of normal aging. A person is truly driving to a very familiar place, the local post office, a daughter's home, and gets completely turned around and confused and lost. A person forgets that they wear glasses. In each of the areas of disease progression, it gets worse over time. So by the time you are in the moderate stages of Alzheimer's disease, you have no ability or very limited ability to remember anything in your recent history. You will forget what you ate for breakfast. You might forget your address. You'll forget the date, who the president is. By middle stages, you would have a difficult time balancing your checkbook. As the disease furthers, a person may have a hard time controlling their physical motion, sitting down. The person may look at a step down for a curb and be unable to perceive it as depth. And so they don't know if they're going to fall over an edge or if it's flat. The progress of the disease varies greatly. There are folks who seem to get the disease later in their lives, and it has a more gradual decline and can last for as much as 20 years. Alzheimer's disease is related to the age of the population. The most common risk factors for Alzheimer's disease would be number one, age, number two, a family history. Then when you get beyond that, what we have found is that people with extremely low educational backgrounds seem to have a higher risk for Alzheimer's disease. People whose bodies seem to exhibit more inflammation. All of the cardiac risk factors can be related to Alzheimer's disease. Having a head injury that causes loss of consciousness can increase your risk for Alzheimer's disease. There is hypothesized that in each of our brains there is a certain amount of cognitive reserve, so that if you are well educated, there are more connections between the various parts of your brain. If you keep your brain stimulated and healthy because you are eating a good diet, you are exercising well and having good oxygen flow to the brain, possibly if you keep your brain stimulated by learning new things, by doing crossword puzzles, people say, though there's no proof for this, that may increase what we call cognitive reserve. The more reserve you have, if this disease sets in, it would take a longer time for it to manifest, for it to show itself. So in the United States, where we have an aging population, we can expect a dramatic increase in Alzheimer's disease over the next half a century. The average age for the onset of Alzheimer's disease is after the age of 65. Lately, there is greater public awareness about Alzheimer's disease. People are coming in for a diagnosis earlier. Those folks are fascinating in that they are our first voices of the people with dementia, telling us what it's like for them. The diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease is not as simple as a single blood test. It is still a diagnosis of exclusion. An important part of the diagnosis is getting a good history that tells us whether the other family members had it. How has the disease progressed? What's the person's personal history? Is there anything treatable that could explain the symptoms? Many older people are especially overdiagnosed as having this disease when they actually have treatable conditions. We are getting more sophisticated, and with brain scan, lab tests, good historical information, you can get a diagnosis these days with about a 90% certainty. There are several different kinds of brain scans that can be done. So the one that's most commonly done is called a CAT scan, and it shows structural abnormalities in the brain. There are currently several medications on the market for Alzheimer's disease, and what these medications do is they seem to change the decline that you see in the disease. The rule of thumb is the earlier a person is put on one of these medications, the slower the decline you can expect. So we encourage people to get a diagnosis or to go see a physician as early as possible if you think you see symptoms of one of these diseases. There are a number of medications in the pipeline for development that may take it to the next step. These medications may actually prevent the formation of the plaques and tangles that are the hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. All of this is experimental. There is a great need for subjects for participation in the clinical trials. There are many more substances being studied than we have patients to investigate them. And if people do have an interest in getting involved in clinical trials, again, contact the Alzheimer's Association's helpline, and we will connect you to clinical trials in your community. The quality of life for people with Alzheimer's disease is not always bad. The quality of life for their family caregivers is not always bad either. One of the ways to improve the quality of life for both the patient and the family partner is to involve other family members and to connect with organizations like the Alzheimer's Association. If you can engage a bigger support around you, then you're more likely to cope effectively with the disease. The more you learn about the disease, the more likely you are to cope with the disease more effectively. And then the quality of life can stay relatively high longer. Doing all the things that we are learning to do to protect our hearts may well help us to protect our brains. Eating a healthy diet that's low in cholesterol, keeping physically active, maintaining decent weight, decreasing your cigarette smoking, your alcohol intake. All of those things we believe can keep you heart healthy but also brain healthy.
Science has recently proved that red wine may contain an element that actually breaks down molecules found in individuals with Alzheimer's. While we aren't recommending that you run to a liquor store, you may want to learn more about this connection by reviewing the November 11th issue of the Journal of Biological Chemistry. Scientists are also exploring the theory that statins, drugs used in treating high cholesterol, slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease. As Dr. Cherry told us, keeping physically fit and heart healthy are ways we can slow the aging process. So now we're going to join a group of very energetic seniors who are already realizing the benefits of staying active. The leader of this group of silver sneakers really keeps them on their toes.
I'm Xenia Agami. I'm the Silver Sneakers instructor and also the Silver Sneakers Seniors Advisor for the Glendale YMCA program.
Well, this program was originally started in 1995. It was developed by the CEO of our company, Mary Swanson. She came up with the concept for a senior activity class to prevent seniors from getting diseases and getting them healthier. It's not actually unique to the Glendale area. We have almost 1,100 fitness centers nationwide. It's open to Medicare eligibles.
They need to belong to the Y to attend the class as a Y member. but they can attend the class for free if they belong to Secure Horizon. The health insurance will provide and will pay for them to exercise.
We celebrated our oldest member's birthday last year at 100 years old. This year he's 101 years old in the state of Washington. I've seen members go in with a walker. They've progressed to a cane and then started walking on their own through the Silver Sneakers classes.
When seniors are exercised, they strengthen their heart, they strengthen their muscles. Exercise for seniors will help their health mentally and physically.
Well, I knew right as soon as I retired that if I sat down and didn't do anything, I was not going to be very active, and I didn't want that to happen because I was a golfer and I wanted to keep up ability to go out and hit the ball.
I've thought about exercise, probably in my 20s and 30s. But it seems like once you start to have your family, there's just no time. And I've always worked along with having my 3 children. So the older you get and the busier you get, the more you neglect exercise, which is just a shame.
Well, I ride motorcycles. I used to walk a lot. I'm a retired NYPD police officer, and I was in motorcycles at the time, and I was quite active.
Well, I've lived in Glendale 52 years, and I was a school teacher, and when I retired, I just went back to my golfing and my friends.
Most of them, the blood pressure went down, diabetes, it helps a lot. Gonna go less to visit their doctors.
That's the main reason why Silver Sneakers got started, was not only to better the life of seniors as they age, but to reduce the healthcare costs in the United States.
The benefit of exercise is so good to keep active.
Well, I'll tell you, when I first came here and we went through a few days of it, I didn't think much of it. I didn't think it was much of an exercise. But by the 3rd day, I was sore all over. So we really enjoyed it.
Health-wise, I have bad arthritis. So my mobility, went down, and my blood pressure went up. I gained weight. I've been here since January in this class, and I've lost 10 pounds, and I've lost about 10, 20, 30 points on my blood pressure. So I'm thrilled. And I just feel better. It's just wonderful.
I'm in my 80s, and I can just keep on moving, and that it's helped me a lot.
I used to play golf before my arthritis got so bad, so I was so discouraged and even gave my clubs away. But now I'm thinking I just might be able to get back into it again. But I do try to walk every day. I try to walk 15 to 20 minutes in addition to the exercise here. I think that's real important. I think that's helped me get the weight loss.
A good average for a senior to exercise, I would say 3 to 4 times a week. And if they cannot come to the gym, they can walk.
We come Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 days a week.
I try to come every day but Wednesday.
I try to come the whole 5 days.
As we grow older, we lose balance, we lose bone density, so there is a necessity of people to exercise. As you grow older too, it's harder for you to lose weight. So osteoporosis usually for women mainly needs to work with strength training to strengthen the bones and the muscles. We work with rubber bands, resistance, and dumbbells.
The classes are designed to build strength, flexibility, range of motion, and increase bone density.
Women, because they lose a lot of potassium, they need to work with weights to strengthen. So this helps to keep the balance, helps not falling down, helps them to be healthy. Body and minds are connected. So the more you exercise, the best you're gonna feel about everything in life.
I'm participating for health reasons and also for the social aspect of it.
But the biggest reason why our program is so successful and why our program is the nation's leading fitness program designed for older adults is because of this social component.
This class, they socialize, they become friends. We are like a family. My seniors, we always have potluck, we get together.
I've made friends. Everybody's just so lovely. We have a potluck, and everybody brings gorgeous food, and we stuff and talk and have games.
If you need information about the program, you can call the Y. You can call Louise' number is 818-240-4130. Ask for Helena Betancourt extension. And also there is another number here that you can call with 543-3893. Or otherwise, go to the website on your screen.
In order to find out more information about Silver Sneakers, there's 3 ways to do it really. One, you can go to if you have access to a computer, go to our website, and that's www.silversneakers.com. The Secure Horizons 1-800 number is 1-800-385-5588, or you can call our Silver Sneakers 1-800 number, and that is 1-800-295-4993.
In our final segment, we'll hear from some seniors who reinforce the importance of keeping active by socializing with friends and companions. Let's join one of the many dances and social occasions offered at the Glendale Adult Recreation Center.
Oh, we met in a very historical island in the Philippines. It was Corregidor Island, where the Americans and the Filipinos fought for freedom from the Japanese. I'm a fan of nature and historical places I visited, and he was there in charge, and so we met.
I was 28 years old in the time.
I'm almost 30 years old.
The secret of marriage and last forever, you must respect each other with understanding.
It is love, but it is not just love. We respect each other, we understand each other, we make consideration for the weakness of each other.
It was in a dance, and from that time on, we were partners in the dance until we got married 2002. Take care of their health is the most important thing, because by being healthy, you can do everything you want to do and will be happy.
Participate in social, political, and all other aspects of life.
Yes, we do that.
Been married 49 years. I'm a school teacher and
I'm a student.
And one time we have a Christmas party and I saw her. Then that is where we started.
Love at first sight. If the other one is not in good mood, don't be on a bad mood too.
Just keep on loving each other every single day, and that's how we live.
Thanks for joining us in this episode of Senior Spectrum. Next time, we're going to learn how to become a more safe pedestrian on busy city streets, and get some advice on how to protect ourselves against financial fraud. We'll also learn how to safety-proof our homes. If you have suggestions for other senior issues you would like to cover, please contact me, Vicki Gardner, at 818-548-4844. See you next time.